is back on KFAN. We have 9 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday. It's every hour from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. Another keyword coming up in about 10 minutes. 10 keywords, learn more, head to KFAN.com. Bonus Bucks is presented by BigDeck.com.
We'll talk Timberwolves in about an hour from now with Parker Fox. He'll be in studio for 2 segments. Also rejoin the Minnesota Wild conversation with Wes Walls at 2:30. But now it's time for...
Time now for 5 questions. Well, actually 3, but 5 sounds like more than 4. Brought to you by Willow River Company. Question number 1.
It's now time to take an in-depth look at the welfare of the wolves.
We talked all first hour about your Minnesota Wild getting out of the first round. Well, so did, in a gutsy effort, your Minnesota Timberwolves ousting the Denver Nuggets. With all the injuries to the guards and to Io not playing and Ant not playing, and obviously Dante's going to be out for a very long time, unfortunately, they still managed to pull through. But now, in this second round, you get the Spurs and Wemby. With that matchup and all the injuries, Tenna, are you...
concerned or confident?
I've seen very little San Antonio Spurs basketball.
You don't follow Spurs basketball as closely as you once did.
That was the nice thing about them playing Denver was, well, we've already played these guys a couple different times in a playoff series. Took them to 7, beat them in 7 2 years ago. I've seen Jokic play a fair share. I've seen Jamal Murray play a fair share. Spurs, I haven't watched a whole lot of San Antonio Spurs basketball, to be honest with you. I mentioned Quinn Hughes is a unicorn. Wemby is a unicorn. He is the unicorn of all unicorns. A guy that the talk going into that one will be the 2 Frenchmen having to, how's Gobert? Gobert did well against Jokic in this last series. It was a huge reason defensively why we were able to slow down Denver, but I think Wemby is going to be a different type of beast. That's a whole nother size and level of athleticism. And what I'm most curious about is against Denver offensively, the game plan was they have no rim protectors. That's why I think Io was so successful before he got hurt, because he can go to the rim. Bones Highland would have moments. He can go to the rim. Ant, before he got hurt, obviously can take it to the hoop. Jaden can a little bit. Nas can at times. Now it's completely different. San Antonio has the rim protectors of all rim protectors. Mm-hmm. So, will an Io struggle a little bit more if he's healthy? Will Bones Highland, you're going to have to sit him a little bit more. This is where it'd be nice to have DiVincenzo, because you got your spot up shooter who can hit some threes for you. So from a matchup standpoint, I think it's going to be a little dicier. And clearly what they need to do is hope Ant returns at some point in the series and weather the storm until he comes. Do I think the Wolves are going to jump up 3-0, 3-1 in this series? I don't. If you can find a way to, just have it at 2-1 or maybe down 3-2 and get Ant back and maybe have a shot at it, I think that's kind of the approach they're going to have in this series.
Question number 2.
Time now for an in-depth look at the state of hockey.
What a night it was in St. Paul. We've been talking about it.
We're the state of hockey, and I think that proves it. So
that's hockey, I think. Do you have that button somewhere?
No, I think that's a PA thing.
But the Wild win. Now, I do think the celebration phase should still continue. That was basically a lot of fan line, and fan line 2.0 is we're just so happy that we got out of the first round and we're moving on and this team looks good and relatively healthy, sans Brodin, which we hope comes back. But now, I still think it should go on for another day or two, but just temporarily looking ahead to the Avs, it seems to me like a complete opposite matchup where...
Just we were talking about the Wolves.
Exactly, where it's like the special teams were so crucial and so poor. I get what, Pat saying what team's going to stop them. Well, you got to figure out somehow to do it. But thankfully 5-on-5 was just so good that it didn't matter. With the Avs, it seems like it's going to be the opposite, where 5-on-5 could be the trouble. You got to convert on your power plays and your penalty kills when you can. But their power play for the Avs with all their weapons isn't clicking, and their 5-on-5 is really explosive. It's going to be a more fast series.
We're not going to have the same 5-on-5 success that we just had against the Dallas Stars.
Yep.
That's not going to happen. No, we can still match them 5-on-5 or maybe slightly bit, but I think people are concerned about the Wild special teams. I think it might have just been they're going up against a historically good special teams, and even once Zuccarello got back, I do think the Wild power play looked better. So I would expect
night and day.
The Wild's going to score some more power play goals in this series. I still am not excited to just go to the penalty box because they still have McKinnon and Makar.
Yeah.
But from a 5-man unit standpoint, Carter talked about it on the broadcast last night about Dallas. They have so many options and so many different ways they can score against you on the power play. Like, they can score on the rush. They scored 2 power play goals on the rush earlier in the season. They've got Johnston in the middle and the bumper, who he can tip, he can redirect shots, he can get rebounds, he can get that pass off the goal line and get the quick release and score a goal on it, which he did last night. They have some guys. Jason Robertson is a great shooter, but is also very sneaky and able to get in on the backside and get some rebounds. They can also make that cross ice pass to the goal mouth and do a little one touch in. So, and then on top of that, they have Heiskanen, who can shoot from the blue line, but can also fake you out and come out, right? I mean, he can one time the puck. So every single guy in that Dallas power play does something very, very well. So regardless of what your strengths are as a penalty kill, they can find whatever is the weak spot. Whereas Colorado, let's face it, when they get on the power play, you're going to be heavily leaning on Makar and McKinnon. You're going to make sure that McKinnon's not able to be getting those one-timers on the backside, that if he has the puck, you are coming out to block that shot. You're just not going to go, hey, Wally, you take on McKinnon here, right? And obviously they'll be shading towards Makar a little bit more as opposed to Dallas. Whatever way you shade, they will find the loose guy and they will beat you.
Question number 3. And now it's time to go between the pipes.
So more hockey talk, but not including the Wild. I guess it kind of does. I'm about to make a statement. I'm about to say something controversial.
That's interesting.
I think this is kind of a 2-for-1 as far as the question, because...
Profound or preposterous?
I'm looking around at the playoffs. I see the Ducks, Flyers, Canes, probably Canadiens, and maybe the Sabres. I think, and again, this is the world's biggest if. I think if the Wild get past Colorado, they win the whole thing. You can hit the button.
Oh my gosh.
Tenna, is that statement
profound or preposterous?
Oh, it's very profound. I mean, you could argue before the playoffs that the 3 best teams in the NHL are all in the same division and have to go through each other, which is why we've complained about the current playoff format. Yeah, I mean, I thought the Ducks were going to get swept in this series.
Yep.
I am not scared of the Anaheim. The Anaheim Ducks couldn't beat our JV team at the end of the season in a game they had to win. So Anaheim advances because Edmonton's got nothing past their top 2 guys. Anaheim's got some, young talent, and they're obviously playing with a lot of energy, and their special teams were great against the Oilers, but they ain't beating the Wild in the playoff series. I'm actually probably worried about Utah the most. I kind of would rather have Vegas advance than Utah, but I'm not. Vegas is going to be a step down from Colorado and Dallas. The Wild arguably are going through the 2 best teams in the league first 2 games. So, yeah, if you get by both of them, you clearly can win the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And in the East, I definitely ain't scared of Philadelphia.
Nope.
Carolina, I think, is probably the team that's going to come out of the East. They have some depth. But are their superstars better than Minnesota's? No. The other side,
Buffalo.
Who knows? Montreal's kind of a fun, speedy team right now, and they're feeling good. Buffalo obviously is a good story. I'm still not ready to write off Boston in that series. But yeah, if the Wild, their toughest opponent is the one coming up. And if you get by them, I mean, you said we might be talking late June about having a parade here.
Yeah, I agree.
So.
And that's it for today's edition of 5 Questions. Well, actually 3 questions, but 5 sounds like more than 4.
Brett, you and I will talk a little bit more Wild and Wolves about 15, 20 minutes from now. But up next, if you like gambling, you like making some money, I'm going to tell you who's going to win the Kentucky Derby next, right here on the Fitz.
Before we go, the fan and BigDeck.com. I'm going to give you a shot to win bonus bucks to the National Cash Contest. Head to KFAN.com. The keyword is win. The keyword is win. KFAN.com. Keyword win.
Again.
The Fan welcomes some great shows to the Ledge Amphitheater this year. John Mulaney will be there August 22nd. Black Label Society September 25th. You get complete details on all of our upcoming shows. You can go to the concert page, KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
Tennafitzgerald sails on. Tenna B along with Brett Blakemore coming out again today. He'll be back on Monday. Sounds like his Tita Green show tomorrow might be getting disrupted as well for another Beyond the Pond. Brett, I don't know enough about you. Do you like horse racing? Do you like the Kentucky Derby, or do you care nothing about it?
I don't follow the Kentucky Derby and horse racing as closely as I once did.
Oh, you once did, or you just never did?
I'm just doing the bit.
Oh, okay.
It's just never been one of mine.
You don't like to go to Canterbury Park and bet on some horses?
Well, I'd love to feel the felt, as Nordo says, but
yeah,
I might spend more time on the blackjack table.
Do you like playing some poker? We used to do like a KFAN poker game like a long time ago. We need to get that back.
Yeah.
Half those people aren't here anymore, but
yeah.
If you like playing some poker, you seem like you're easy money.
Well, that's the problem. Yeah. I'm more of a blackjack guy.
Okay.
But I can't wait to hear what your trifecta is.
I love the Kentucky Derby. I probably like the Belmont the most because I enjoy the difference in that, because it's a race that it's a length of race that these horses never run, so it's fun to try to predict who can go that mile and a half. But what I love about the Kentucky Derby is there's 20 horses. When else are you betting on a field that big? And when you have a field that big, that means there's lots of money to be made. There's lots of money in the pool. There's a variety of horses. So I'm going to be a nice guy and let the Twin Cities public know how they can make some money on the Kentucky Derby tomorrow. Now, there's 20 horses, and I'm going to eliminate those 20 down to 1. Are you ready, Brett?
Let's do it.
No Japan-bred horse or United Arab Emirates horse has ever won the Kentucky Derby. So right off the hop, number 7, Dan and Bourbon. Number 10, Wonder Dean. Number 17, 6 Speed, Gone. I love that every year there's 2 horses from Japan in there that people overbet them for some reason. I stay away from them every time. One, they're basically hard to predict anyways, because you don't really have past performances on them, which is why I think people bet on them, because they're kind of mysterious. But keep throwing your money at them. I mean, one of these years they're going to hit, but until they do, I'm going to keep betting against them.
Do the time zone difference, does that affect the horses?
Maybe. Well, they never win.
Yeah. Something to think about.
We're already down to 17 horses. I just eliminated 3 for you. Of only 4 of the last 33 winners of the Kentucky Derby had previously never had a speed rating over 95. So they get speed ratings on all of their races. Any horse that's never been 95 or above, not likely they're going to win. It's happened a couple times, but as I just mentioned, that's only happened 4 of the last 33. So I'm going to remove all of the horses that have a speed rating, that never had a speed rating over 95. That eliminates number 2, Elbis, number 3, Intrepido, number 11, Incredible, number 14, Potente, number 16, Pavlovian, number 19, Golden Tempo, number 21, Great White, number 22, Ocelli, and number 23, Robusta. I've already eliminated 12 horses from that 20-horse field. We're down to 8. All right? Only 2 horses have won the Kentucky Derby with 3 or less prior races. Right? So if they've only raced 3 times before, 2 times before, 1 time before, they typically don't have the experience to win a race quite like the Kentucky Derby. It's only happened twice in the history. Apollo you remember Apollo back in 1882. I mean, how great was that race?
Yeah.
And then Justify did it in 2018. Otherwise, it rarely happens. I'm betting against that trend. So number 12, Chief Wallaby, who I think is 9-1, gone. Number 15, Emerging Market. He's only raced twice before. We're down to 6 horses. It's been 40 years since a horse has won the Kentucky Derby on the rail in the number 1 post position. Yes, I am eliminating the betting favorite in this race, Renegade.
Oh my gosh, you are above average at that.
He's the betting favorite, but they don't win on the rail. He's also a closer, so he's not going to get out. He's not going to be able to get out to a lead. He's going to get stuck behind a bunch of horses. He's going to need the absolute perfect trip to win this. So I'm going against the favorite, which I do anyways in Kentucky Derby because I want to win some money. I don't like the chalk never pays off properly. We're down to 5 horses. We're down to number 4, Litmus Test. Number 6, Commandment. Number 8, So Happy. Number 9, The Puma. And number 18, Further Ado. Now, I'm at the point now where I don't have as many analytics to go off of. But I do know that only 2 Kentucky winners have ever gone wire to wire. Do you know what wire to wire is?
Like winning.
They're leading the entire time around the track.
Yep.
Right? That's only happened twice before. So therefore, typically, early speed does not hold up. Really, is you want to look for, I think historically in the Derby, if you're like a stalker, you're tracking the lead. If you're within 5 lengths of the lead, those horses tend to have the most success just because it's a 20-horse field. So it's hard for some of these horses that are 8, 9, 10 lengths back to be able to navigate through all the horses to get to the lead. Number 4, Litmus Test, I think might be the early speed here. So I'm going to take Litmus Test out. I will eliminate him. We're down to 4 horses. Like I said, I'm done with stats. Now I just have to go with my own gut. I'm first going to eliminate number 18, Further Ado. And the reason I'm doing that is because the jockey whose name is Irad Ortiz Jr. has ridden Further Ado its last 4 races, but is opting to jump on number 1 Renegade. That to me says the jockey thinks number 1 Renegade has a better chance of winning than Further Ado. So therefore, I will eliminate if the jockey's going to eliminate Further Ado, I am further going to eliminate Further Ado. We're down to 3 horses. Next one I'm taking out would be number 9, the Puma. His last race in the Florida Derby, he had the lead till late. And Commandment tracked him down by a nose at the very end. This race, the Kentucky Derby, is 1/8 of a mile longer than that Florida Derby. And given he got caught by Commandment there, I have reason to believe that maybe another 1/8 of the mile will be a struggle for him to go even further. So I'm taking out the Puma. We're down to 2. Number 6, Commandment at 6-1. And number 8, So Happy. Well, the morning line is 15-1. I was very excited about the 15-1 morning line. Currently, it's at 6-1, which I'm very disappointed with because I would have been happy to have So Happy at 15-1. I am going to give the edge here to number 6, Commandment. Basically, my rationale is Commandment has a win on this track, which I do think is important. There's a longer stretch at Churchill Downs. If you have any experience on that track, I think that would be beneficial here. Commandment has won at this track. That's basically, and Commandment's also put together 2 back-to-back really, really good races that could win this race. So I hate to go with the common man here because when he did his Nostradamus, he picked number 6 Commandment. But I too, maybe I'm like, he's Lieber and I'm Rosen and I'm stealing his Lieber-esque take. I'm going with number 6 Commandment to win the Kentucky Derby. I like the trifectas. I'll have Commandment and So Happy on top. And then I'm also going to mix in Further Ado, the Puma, and Litmus Test, who right now is at 33-1. The morning line was 50-1. I was very excited. Litmus Test is a Bob Baffert horse, which Baffert's historically one of the best trainers.
One of the GOATs, I'd say.
And I think Litmus Test is going to get out to the lead. I think Litmus Test is probably going to blow the lead, but I'm hoping Litmus Test at that big price can just hang on for like a third place finish at the end and just make me very happy about my trifecta. So there you go. Number 6 commandment. Go cash your tickets now at Churchill Downs. Let's talk some more Wild and Wolves. I do want to play some audio from after both games. Mike Conley was interviewed after the game. Great interview with Mr. Horton and Mr. Peterson. And then I really liked what Brock Faber had to say after the game yesterday. We'll break down both Wild and Wolves victories next.
Saturday, May 2nd, you can join the fans Chris Hockey at Aquarius Home Services in Little Canada for the Customer Appreciation Open House. You can enjoy great food. You can say hi to Hawk, 10:30 to 12:30. And you check out some amazing savings, KFAN.com, keyword calendar, KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Over the offensive line comes Marcus Foligno. Hits the trailer, Hughes, left circle, faking a shot, then shooting, he scores!
This one too.
The horn will sound, and this series is over. With a 110-98 win in Game 6, the Timberwolves close out the Denver Nuggets. It's the second time in 3 years the Wolves have upset the higher-seeded Nuggets. The Wolves and Jaden McDaniels. Without Anthony Edwards over the final 2 games, without Dante DiVincenzo over the final 2 games, and without Ayo Dosunmu in the closeout Game 6, the Wolves send the Nuggets reeling into the offseason.
You know, Brett, I know this market still needs to get over the can't win a championship narrative, but, you know, I do feel like some of the demons were exercised yesterday with the Wild historically just being labeled as the one and dones, can't get out of the first round. I think we all felt like this team could be different. They look different in the regular season. They're built different, superstar power, but they went out and did it against a very good team. And then how about the Minnesota Timberwolves? Let's face it, for a good duration of this franchise's existence, they've been like the laughing stock of the NBA, the laughing stock of sports. And all of a sudden, they're on a 3-year stretch now where they've gone to the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row. And now this year, they beat a team that, you know, a lot of the so-called NBA experts didn't think they would beat. And the fashion in which they did it with the guys hurt that they had. I saw this term being thrown out last night, and I think it applies to a couple different Timberwolves players and figures. Legacy series. Like last night and this series against Denver changed the way people are going to view their legacies. Number 1 would be Jaden McDaniels. I mean, he was the series. In a series in which I don't even know how many times Nikola Jokic has won the MVP. Let's just say 3. I'm just going to go with that. 3-time MVP Nikola Jokic in the series. Jamal Murray in the series, and the best player, the most impactful player, was Jaden McDaniels. And after earlier in the series calling out every single Denver Nugget player for how bad they are defensively, saying them by name in a media scrum, that does not happen. Became the villain of the series. He showed out. He was great all series, and he was his best last night when the team needed him most because they were severely shorthanded. Career high 32 points last night. He had 10 rebounds. And so not only was he your best offensive player, but he was in charge of defending one of the 2 best players on the opposing team, who's also a star, Jamal Murray. Last night, Murray, 4 of 17 shooting for 12 points. And Chris Finch even said afterwards that none of those 4 baskets he made came when McDaniels was guarding him. So he basically did not score on Jaden McDaniels last night. Throughout the 6 games, Jamal Murray shot 36%. That is his lowest field goal percentage in a series in his career. Another Wolf stat. In the history of the franchise, 2 players ever have had 30-plus points, 10-plus rebounds, and 0 turnovers in a playoff game. One was Kevin Garnett. The other now, Jaden McDaniels. Jaden McDaniels, he was always kind of an Anthony Edwards shadow, right? This is Ant's team, and Jaden is kind of, I don't know if I want to call him Scottie Pippen, but he kind of, it's not to the Scottie Pippen level, but like that was kind of the, he ain't the MJ.
The Robin, maybe?
Yeah, the Robin to Batman. And I'm still not ready to say he's Batman, but I think he did show that he can be Batman. And last night, he was definitely Batman. And clutch shots down the stretch. They needed everything from him last night, and he was terrific. So I think Jaden McDaniels changed his legacy in this series. Another player who had a legacy series was Rudy Gobert. And I've talked about it with Common. I talked about it yesterday on the Tennafitzgerald. A couple of years ago, when they had to go up against Joker in the playoffs, Gobert wasn't guarding him necessarily all the time. There were times where he would guard Joker, but they'd have him off on the side. I'm trying to remember who else was in that series defending. Naz Reid couldn't guard him. Slow-mo couldn't guard him. Karl Anthony Towns was actually the best defensively against Jokic as that series went along, and they started getting to games 5, 6, or 7, and was a reason the Wolves came back in that series. But without the big meow, Bodega Cat, I did wonder going into the series, Towns is the sole reason we were able to contain. You can't stop Joker, but he was the sole reason you contained him a bit. How are we going to defend Joker? And it got better. And Gobert was able to do it one-on-one. He didn't need help. And if you don't need help on Joker, because part of what's great about Joker is he's not just someone who can just kind of score at will, but he distributes the ball. He is the Quinn Hughes of the Denver Nuggets. He'll find some scrubs at the three-point line, get them wide open, and distribute the ball, perfect pass to him, and he gets his teammates open looks. His teammates will be cut into the basket, and he'll throw it in the perfect spot where his teammates are now getting easy layups, and they're in the box score. So I never envisioned a scenario in which we could guard Jokic one-on-one and not have to bring help. And we didn't have to do it. And I'll be honest, I was always one of those that were in life kind of half doubting Rudy Gobert. I saw the good in him, but I've also seen past playoff series where if you are trailing in a game, you need offense, he has to come off the court. How many times in the last 2-3 minutes of a playoff game do we have to take Rudy off? Or I remember seeing him against Luka Doncic in that series against Dallas, and he was breaking Gobert's ankles. Did Gobert get better defensively? He might have gotten better. Excuse me. He was always a good rim protector. He's always good at help defense. But I feel like his one-on-one defense, obviously he's in great shape, even though he's a little bit, in the back nine of his career age-wise. But I think the national, maybe it won't nationally because it's just a first-round series, and maybe Gobert's got to do it here through another series or two, and the Wolves got to get deeper in the playoffs for more people nationally to get eyeballs on him. But if he plays like he did in that series, especially if he does that to Wemby, you defend Jokic like you defend Wemby like you did against Joker. The whole league will have to throw you some flowers. They're gonna have to give you their flowers. They can't rip on you anymore. So I thought that was a legacy series for Rudy Gobert. And then lastly, the head coach Chris Finch. I don't know why, and I get it. I don't follow the Timberwolves as religiously as some others. I'm watching every single Minnesota Wild game. I'm not watching all the Wolves games, except for the playoffs. I do watch them. I've never understood some of the eagerness of some of our fans we got to get the coach out of there. Like, have you not seen Timberwolves basketball the last 30 years, 30, 35 years? You finally got a coach that has gotten you the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row, and we want to just jettison him? I didn't understand that. I feel like he's even keel, that he pushes the buttons when he needs to push them. Sure, in the regular season, they coast. Let's be honest. But ultimately, do I want a great regular season team or do I want a great playoff team? I want a great playoff team. And the Wolves, I don't know if we can call them a great playoff team yet, but they show up come playoff time. And last night, without your best player, who's one of the top 5 players in the league, without Dante DiVincenzo, who's your best 3-point shooter, and who was playing great early in the series, without Io, who you're already missing your top 2 starting guards, and Io was the one who took over when Ant was hurt and put up 43 in game 4 and had scored through stretches and could attack the rim. Didn't have him. Didn't even have slow-mo. They had to play 8 guys last night, and they basically played 6. 2 of them got a little bit of time. Bones got a little bit of time, and Jalen Clark. Other than that, they just 6 guys had to stay out there. Mike Conley, who this team traded away for nothing just to basically recapture cap space for financial reasons, got him back, was great last night. But, he's basically like my age at this point of his career. I mean, he had to do it with basically a 6-man rotation. Guys were tired. And without a big-time scorer and offensively, they looked great last night. Chris Finch is a good coach. You can argue whether he's Phil Jackson-like or not, but he's not a bad coach. And the team is performing in the playoffs every single year. So, and I don't know how you can't credit him for the way the team went last night. I do want to play this interview from Mike Conley. Alan Horton, Jim Peterson, after the game, talked with Mike Conley on our sister station, AM 1130 Twin Cities News Talk and FM 103.5, and of course on the Wolves channel on the iHeartRadio app. And I love listening to Mr. Conley talk.
Mike Conley, how does it feel to beat the Denver Nuggets in 6 games? What an effort tonight. Congratulations.
I think everybody after that game just kept saying, we deserve it, man. We deserve it. We worked for it. We had to deal with a lot this series. We had a lot, lean on a lot of guys. Tonight, TJ, Jaden, Jalen, Nas, Bones, all those guys, man, didn't play a lot during the beginning of the series. They came out tonight and really carried us. So just speaks volumes about our young guys and our ability to trust them.
Mike, when did you guys kind of find out that you were going to be without Kyle and Io tonight?
We found out when we showed up to the arena about 5:30, 6 o'clock.
So what was the mindset coming in? Just that, I know Chris Finch preaches this, hey, we've got enough.
Yeah, as soon as we found out Io was out and Kyle, we kind of looked at each other and was like, man, hey, bump it. We got enough. We got more players than they do. We're deeper than they are. And we got more to show. So, there was no panic. It was just an opportunity for those guys, all of us really, to get out there and play heavy minutes and try to get a win.
Mike, first of all, don't sell yourself short. You did an amazing job. The way that you dug out defensive rebounds and defended, it was absolutely fantastic. But I got to ask you, because you've seen more of Jokic and Rudy Gobert than we have. What do you make of Rudy's matchup against Jokic? How do you place this in Rudy's career?
I think this is one of his best performances I've ever seen him, up close. The way he approached this series, the challenge he accepted. We know the matchup. Jokic, there's been games where he scored 50, 60 points. And Rudy took every responsibility for all those games. He came out during this playoff series and just completely dominated. Wore him down, took his legs from under him, and made everything tough. Because Jokic to me is one of the best players, if not one of the best in the league. So I'm just proud of Rudy and the way that he was able to show out.
Rudy had 8 assists tonight. Mike, let me get your thoughts on Jaden McDaniels. He backed up his words and his antics during this series. 32 points, 10 rebounds. His defense on Jamal Murray all night, all series long, was incredible.
And Jaden's MVP, man. Like I told him after the last game, I know that the fans in Denver were hard on him, but the way that the fans came out and supported him tonight, it was unbelievable. I've never heard the Target Center so loud. And the way he approached the game, the way he approached the whole series, just awesome. He defended. He didn't get tired. He made every play, winning play when we needed it. Tonight, we needed to lean on him more than other nights, and he brought us home.
Hey, Mike, how about a 50-33 rebound advantage for Minnesota? How about the jumbo lineup tonight with Nas, Julius, and Rudy, and how that worked?
Yeah, that's our versatility, honestly, man. You never know who's going to be out there. Coach mixes lineups all the time. When you got a jumbo lineup like that, you have to dominate on the glass, and that was a point of emphasis because last game they really crashed on us and got extra possessions and were able to get buckets off of it. So that was a great adjustment from Coach. Great adjustment from our players to be able to go out there and execute.
Mike, congratulations. Wolves in 6 sounds pretty nice, doesn't it? To beat a really good Nuggets team.
Who are you telling, brother? I'm about to go get in the cold tub.
On to San Antonio.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, Mike Conley with Alan Horton and Jim Pete after the game. Some more just amazing Wolves stats from this series. Last night on the offensive glass, and they just talked about the big lineup. Wolves 20 to 4 edge on the offensive glass last night. That's just astonishing. Wolves first team in NBA history to win a playoff game while missing 3 or more players who averaged 10 plus points per game in that series. Also, the entire season, the Denver Nuggets scored fewer than 100 points twice. Happened 3 times in this series against the Wolves. 3 times in 6 games, including last night. The Wolves just defensively shut down. And we haven't even talked about how great Terrence Shannon Jr. was. 24 points. Now, I don't have the audio for this one, but the one quote, did you see the Finch quote? They've shown the video of him in the locker room saying it to his players, and then he came to the press conference and he said it to the media. He kept talking about how on Denver, he said, they chose us. And I'm trying to figure out, I don't understand that. I get maybe you're just trying to motivate your team, but Denver won 12 to finish the season. It's one thing if you're tanking to try to play a team, but if you're just kept winning, and really, they weren't playing their star players the last 2 games. They were playing the Wild had their junior varsity lineup up at the end of the year. That's what Denver did the last 2 games, and they still won. So I don't understand they chose us, because it's not like they kept playing. We're going to play. I think Jokic did play a little bit just because they wanted to keep him ready for playoff basketball. But
wasn't there a controversy their last game of the season where they didn't play, like you were saying, they were playing their JV team in order to get Minnesota? Wasn't that the idea?
Because they won to get the 3 seed. If they would have lost, they would have dropped into the 4 or 5. They didn't lose. They won.
Weren't they playing someone that also was playing their JV team to try to go down?
They were, yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember who it was, but I do remember hearing
this isn't like Montreal versus the Frost in PWHL, where Montreal got to choose between the Frost and Ottawa, and they chose the higher seeded, number 3 seeded Frost. Now they can, after they beat the Montreal Victoire in a series, go, they chose us, because they literally did choose you. I don't get the Finch one. Now, ultimately, from a motivational standpoint, it apparently worked. It got in his players' heads, and then the Wolves had more heart in this series. They had more passion. They wanted it more than the Denver Nuggets. But I'm still just trying to figure out. I don't understand. If they would have chose you, to me that means they would have we're going to tank these last 2 games so we can make sure that we get into a certain game with someone. They just kept winning, but they didn't do it with their best players. So it's not like they were pushing. It's not like Joker and Jamal Murray were playing 40 minutes the last 2 games so that they could secure the 3 seed to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I don't know why they would want the Minnesota Timberwolves, because the Wolves beat them 2 years ago in 7 games. So it would have been. You look at what Lakers and Houston. I actually think it was stupid for them to win the last couple games, because they should have rather have played the Lakers or the Houston Rockets. So
maybe a texter has the.
Maybe someone can explain to me what I'm missing here with the they chose us conversation. We'll talk more Timberwolves basketball here in 10 minutes with Parker Fox. I did want to get to one wild piece of audio. That would be one of us from Maple Grove, Minnesota. He's the second best defenseman ever from Maple Grove behind me in the history of Maple Grove hockey. That would be Brock Faber. Here was his media scrum after last night's win over the Dallas Stars.
Brock, I know you're winning the Stanley Cup tonight, but it sure as heck seems like it. What are some emotions right now?
No, I mean, we did what we had to do. Feels really good. I think we played a good series. We deserved to win, and that's what we did.
Brock, tonight, when you played, how much did he control the game tonight for you guys?
Yeah, that's what he does. He does that every night. It's no surprise. Big time players step up in big time games. That's what he did.
On the second goal, did you see Jay Cottinger come out of his crease? Is that why you moved it? It looked like you were seeing him coming out.
No, you kind of just assume that when you have the puck on your stick where I did, and that's a play that we connect on a lot. So I kind of knew where he was going to be, and thankfully it went in.
Brock, you were 12 the last time the Wild won our first round. How do you remember that, and what are the emotions?
No, I don't remember it, but I think we did what we had to do. It didn't matter to us that we, this is a new team. We write our own story. Every team has their own story. Every team has their own ups and downs, and we knew we were the better team. We just had to go prove it, and that's what we did. So it's on to round 2 now. You flush this, it doesn't matter anymore. We got another series to win.
Yeah, Wild defenseman Brock Faber. I loved his approach last night because, like I said earlier with Pat McLetty, the local media was trying to goad him into the you grew up a Wild fan, you know the history of the franchise, almost trying to place so much importance on this first round victory. And he's just like, well, on to the next one. We did what we were supposed to do. We took care of business, but we ain't here to win one round. And I don't think that's Bill Guerin's approach. You saw him when they showed him up in his box. His suite didn't show any emotion because, yeah, I'm sure he's thrilled they won and they won the series and they're advancing. But I think the same narrative we have in our heads is different than the way these athletes and this team. And I'm glad that at least moving forward from a fan standpoint and a media standpoint, we don't have to go are they going to be scared of playing in the playoffs? Are they going to be squeezing the 6-2 tight? That's not going to be a factor anymore. If they lose now, it's just because the other team's better than them. If they lose to Colorado, it's because the Avalanche are better. It's not because they're choking in the playoffs. He was also asked about Quinn Hughes. I love when they're asked, what do you think about that goal? Quinn Hughes is just a magician on the ice. Anyone he plays with is going to look better. And did you know, I'm sure you already saw this, Brett, Quinn Hughes already holds the franchise record for most points in a playoffs by a defenseman. He did it one round. Now, most Wild teams did not get past one round. There were a few of them. There's been 3 of them. There's one that played 3 rounds.
Yeah, who was the best defenseman on that team?
That team would have been, they didn't have offensive defensemen. I guess their most offensive defenseman. How old were you when that series was, by the way?
2003.
Yeah.
I was born in 96, so quick math.
Oh, geez. So you don't remember anything about that series?
No.
Oh, it was the best ever.
None.
I
know what happened. I know the brunette bit. I know Jaguar's oversized pads, but I couldn't break down who was on that roster. This was the expansion team, basically. Besides Gabrick.
This is pre-Vegas Golden Knights expansion, where expansion teams, it was actually hard to put a team together. Yes.
So they don't just gift you a cup
they were just
worthy team?
Other than marrying Gabrick, they were just a bunch of 3rd and 4th liners on a team together, right? And they drafted Gabrick, and he was their star player. Mm-hmm. And they had guys that, I guess, outplayed kind of that 3rd, 4th line label because Jacques Lemaire, I guess, coached him up, or they just got an opportunity here that they hadn't got previously, like a Wes Walz, who we're going to talk to in 30 minutes.
Richard Park.
But
I just know that call.
But defensively, not much for offensive defensemen on that roster. Yeah. Now, Willie Mitchell was great defensively and was a big reason they had to take down the Colorado Avalanche Stars and the Vancouver Canucks Stars because there was some firepower in both those teams. Willie Mitchell, Nick Schultz, probably our most offensive defenseman and probably the one who played the power play, if I recall, was Philippe Kuba. But yeah, it was a team that was trying to win games 2-1, 3-2. They weren't going to win 6-5 games back then. Though they did kind of light up the playoffs a little bit against Colorado and Vancouver. They had a couple games where they lit the lamp a little bit. Let's talk Minnesota Timberwolves basketball. Big series victory over the Denver Nuggets. Parker Fox, former Golden Gopher basketball player, Wolves fan line. He joins us next right here on the Tennafitzgerald.